Oh my god, it's Metal Sonic from Sonic CD. Oh my god. How? And why does he look so different? He can talk and everything. Oh my god, no. And our true villain is revealed. It's Metal Sonic from Sonic CD.
Eggman! No way off the hook this time!
Jump here. Go through that ring. Yeah, the thing about that ring right there is if you're going too fast, you'll go through it, but there won't be any animation and you won't get the points for some reason. So yeah, so we now know Metal Sonic is the true villain. Of course, back then I didn't know who he was, because again, this was the first Sonic game I ever played. I didn't know who any of these characters were. I just thought he was called Mystery Monster. That's what he's called in the instruction manual. It wasn't until I finally got to the last story that I discovered that his name is Metal Sonic. Anyway, Frog Forest. It's a forest full of frogs. It's also got many mushrooms. Let's just call this the Mushroom Hill level. Because that's exactly what this place is. It's Mushroom Hill from Sonic and Knuckles. Make sure you're high up enough for this. I think it is possible if you're too low down, that won't send you all the way up. Now here's what these frogs do. If you get too close to them, it'll start to rain. That's really all it is though. That you need, see that's what I did. I managed to get the orange ring that goes just around the middle and I got 1,000 points and a 1-up. You do need the frogs to croak though, because they create platforms that you need to move on. In Team Chaotix, it's the opposite. Sonic, you're supposed to go through that loop to the left. That's how you get your level up. Do you not want to be leveled up? That dash pad in there sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. I don't even know why it's there, because that loop is automatic. Ooh, I thought it wasn't going to work there. And that always happens. Yeah. If you want to get the frogs to shut up with the croaking, well, you can just punch them. I do not support cruelty to frogs. Frogs are cool. Even if, when you try and handle them, they wee on your hands. Most frogs are cool. Okay, I think it's Team Dark then, where there's a Lightspeed dash trail there. And now we have this flower. What you want to do is you want to perform the tornado jump. And it wants you to take the... You can go through the middle there, or you can jump off and try and land on this vine, which is a grind rail, and you can get yourself 2 lives by doing this. Otherwise, you can just drop down there, and you can then grind back upwards. But there are 2 lives there. There's an invincibility box here, and you can swing on that ivy. And of course, sticking with tradition, the invincibility box. The invincibility theme song is the main theme. It's like a that's the main theme of the game. Now that gold robot that we saw just there, we saw one of them before. It was in the last set of enemies in the Robot Carnival. That robot is called the Egg Knight. If you destroy it, all of the other egg pawns around it will also be destroyed. And it's not like something that you want to destroy all of them to get more points. You'll still get all the points for them. You'll still get the extra points for defeating all of the enemies in a row. So it all still works. And so what we're doing here is we're heading towards that giant mushroom. But there are 2 paths you can take. You can either go down there, or you can take the upper path, which takes us to this flower, which takes us to a higher point of the mushroom. Where all the balloons are for 20 rings. I think. Most of them are. That one was. I assume the other one was, but the subtitles were sort of preventing it. And Knuckles gave us a nice little callback to Mushroom Hills in there. We have jungle mushrooms on my island too, but not this huge. Right, this is where things can get a bit tricky. You want a homing attack on the fruit, and then you would have to try and manually land on that thing. You can also homing attack into it. Wait, air dash into it. You can't physically homing attack it. Like, you won't home in on it or anything like that. Try and get everyone onto the rails, so we'll get a level up, and we will go through the rings. Get this guy to go off here. He can help us get to the higher level. And for some reason, none of the characters always go through that loop. But they won't spread out like they did the first time round. They always go through the same loop. And then that will also affect where you go in the second loop. Because the middle one was invincibility, there's one that's, I think it's a shield, and then the other is speed shoes. Yeah, believe it or not, there are speed shoes in this game, but they're really rare. And even when I get them, I never notice a single difference here. You don't need to worry about grinding off of the edge of this thing. The faster you go, the faster it will grow. So you don't need to worry about going off of the edge of it or anything like that. The animation for it's a bit weird though. And that's Frog Forest. It's probably the easiest level in the game. Besides Seaside Hill. It's a nice little breather level in the middle. It's like Starlight Zone. There's a much more difficult zone before it. There's a much more difficult zone after it. Frog Forest is a pretty easy level in general. It's a nice little callback to Mushroom Hill Zone. One thing I don't like about Frog Forest though is the music. Because it's really repetitive. I mean, you know, repetitive music can work. I like Radical Highway in Sonic Adventure 2. That's even more repetitive than this. But there's really not very much to it. And now we enter the last 3 set of special stages. Now, the thing about these special stages, there's an extra gimmick added to it, which we'll be seeing around the midway point. Now, while it's not so bad here, it's not so bad in Special Stage 7. Special Stage 6, it doesn't work. And we'll probably be seeing that when we get to Special Stage 6. If I can get to it. But yeah, it's also bad here, but it isn't exactly very interesting. It's always located in a fly formation section, because you technically have to be in fly formation to grab it. But on the 6th special stage, I always just go right through it. I can't remember if it's at the end of this one or if it's at the end of the other one. It also doesn't help when there are... Okay, it is the next one. It also doesn't help when they place these things on the bends of the pipe, where it's much harder to actually... Well, it's harder to move in general. I have had plenty of times where I've run out of time going through these automatic bouncing sections. So, go right in the middle, grab the pulley. Now you can swing left or right to grab all of the spheres. You can do a full 360 if you get enough momentum. You're going to have to do a lot of swinging from side to side there, and you're probably going to miss a lot of them. You can boost, but you're not going to boost very fast. This is only in the bonus challenges. This doesn't exist in the Emerald challenges. Instead, what we'll have is on the straightaways, it will just be a bunch of rows of bombs, and between the bombs will be some of these red power spheres. But you gotta know whereabouts the red power spheres are, and you gotta know where one row of power spheres ends, where the next set of them will be. Otherwise you're just going to go straight into a bomb. And sometimes, at the end of where the bombs are, there'll be 2 bombs between them, which you then have to jump over. You won't lose your boost gauge, but you still come to a complete halt when you jump in these things. Just like that. You also can't fly here. So every time you try and take off, it's like the flight meter just doesn't exist. You'll just immediately drop down. So these special stages are considerably harder because you lose a lot of time when going through the pulley section, which can be a particular problem in the next special stages I keep mentioning, because that chow balloon will still be there as well, and there's a lot of very long automatic sections in it. It's very rare that I'm ever able to complete the bonus challenge in Special Stage 6. I think I've only ever done it like 1 or 2 times. Because of the pulley section, I generally don't get as many lives during these ones, but you know, it doesn't matter. I don't even know what my life count is at the moment. I can usually get 99 lives in a single story run. The only exception really is Team Rose, because yeah, their levels are so short, you don't really get enough chances. Unless you're really good at grabbing rings, which, since that is their extra mission, lives are still pretty easy to get with Team Rose. And your lives do carry over into the extra missions as well. But anyway, Lost Jungle. Now we're introduced to these guys. I think they're called egg hammers. And, well, it's like a big egg pawn. Only Knuckles can destroy it. They'll swing. They have two attacks. They'll either swing the hammer around, or they will just slam the hammer down. If they swing it around, they'll eventually lose their balance, and you can either fire dunk them, or you can use thunder shoots. And that will knock them over for a short while. Come on. And that's what I mean when I say the quick ascent can damage enemies. And you can see just down there, there is a black frog. Should you approach its line of sight, it will start to rain. However, what the black frogs create is sort of like an acid rain. It will destroy the plants selectively. It won't destroy any of these plants that we're seeing here. It will simply just destroy the bouncing fruit. And once that happens, that bouncing fruit, even if it's not moving, it's all of a sudden a hazard. And you can still stun these guys. Bonk, bonk, bonk. The hammer can still damage you. As we'll be seeing right here. So there's no avoiding this guy. Unless you do it really fast like that. And the fruit will then be considered hazardous. At the moment we can still bounce on it. I can't tell if it's racist or not, because they're black frogs. But, yeah. That's not why I dislike Lost Jungle. I dislike Lost Jungle because of the ending. This is my least favourite level in Sonic Heroes. Yeah, I don't like Bingo Highway. I don't like Bullet Station. I'm not too big of a fan of Mystic Mansion. But this one I think is the worst, for Team Sonic and Team Dark anyway. And it's all because of the ending section. Even when you're not going for the A rank, for both Team Sonic and Team Dark, I got stuck here for so long because of the ending. It's a pain. Collision detection is your worst enemy. PS2 or GameCube. I am not going to, what am I saying? I do want him. Team Dark, I'm going to go down there. So what he'll do is well, besides making those other ones grow there, which are floating in the air, he'll suddenly create this. Right, that frog is not in a good place. Switch the fly formation there. Otherwise you will probably fall down. How did that not make him croak? There's always a power core for fly formation there. The fruit can destroy the enemies. However, you won't get any points should that happen. So just take out the enemies yourself. I'm suspicious, but I know that there is a frog eventually that I know we can't avoid. So now we have our special stage key. Right, two options. Take the high road or the low road. Let's start by taking the low road because this is 2,000 points right here. Each of them is worth 500 points. Each of these is worth 500 points. Now, I'm going to need to backtrack and waste time because I want to go up here. So we just take out these guys and we cause this guy to croak. Hit the mushroom. Swing off the ivy when it's going in the right direction. Unfortunately, we have to wait for it to stop swinging now. And when it's at the highest point of its swing, you can jump off, and now this will be here. And once we get a small burst of speed, these loops are completely automatic. Now, just before we got to that previous Black Frog section, where I took the ivy, I messed up there, we're taking the bottom path now. And so this is what happens. The fruit drops, now it's a hazard. There's a section right after before we got to the part with the previous fruits where I said that they could destroy the enemies. We got to those black frogs. The other platform that had the Claggons on it, if you don't trigger the green frogs or make the ivy grow, there is a set of springs that will take you there. PS2 version, those springs may as well not exist. I clip through them every single time to the point where I just, if the green frog isn't there, I skip the loop. I stop in the loop, I fly into the loop, and then I jump out of it and fly to the platform. Because I clip through those springs every single time. Maybe once I've gone through it, I don't know. That's maybe just because I avoid the springs. It's not really a problem here, but on the PS2 version, that is going to happen every single time. I don't trust that pathway. I'm going to take this one. So I think there's a point. You homing attack off of the fruits, and then you fall. It's just a simple homing attacking chain at first, but then you have to homing attack this spring. If you homing attack into the wide springs, it'll bounce you up. You'll still be in your ball form, and you can just homing attack on everything else. Homing attacking on individual springs for some reason, you'll just launch in the air, but you'll be out of your ball form, which means you then have to try and manually land on the fruit, which is not very easy to do. So that's why I always take the other pathway. Now, if we're fast enough, know what platforms to jump up to. And the idea is that that frog is supposed to spot you too soon, and then it will drop you down. And there's a switch down there that I think you have to use the lightspeed dash to get up. On some of the other teams, instead of that, and that's a 1-up there by the way, instead of that it will be another green frog. Now even though the black frogs kill the plants, the green frogs are, besides making the plants grow, it gives life to the plants that were killed. So if you set off a black frog and then set off a green frog, it will cause the plants to regrow. I hate this part of the level. I hate this part of the level. I hate this part of the level. Alright, avoid these guys. And now we're being chased by a giant alligator. Boy, Vector's big cousin. Now when the Ivies reach the highest point of their swing, that is when you jump off. Every now and then though, sometimes, for reasons that I just don't know, the Ivies will either go backwards, or characters will clip right through the Ivy. GameCube or PS2, it happens on both. And there are some 1-ups on that trail there, but I don't know how you're supposed to get them. Because the Ivies are pretty much automatic, apart from jumping off. So how you're supposed to get down, I guess you just gotta miss the swing and then jump down. And there are sometimes springs down there to launch you back up. The problem is, when you jump off of an Ivy, there's a bit of time before you have manual control of yourself. Which is why I fail that section so many times. I fail to, because it takes too long for me to be able to fly again. So I just end up crossing the dead zone and then I die. Occasionally I've been able to save myself, but it doesn't happen very often. I've failed there so many times, and I hate level design like that. The bit you fail to get the A ranks right at the end. And there's no other hazards there. Team Sonic and Team Dark, it's the exact same thing. The only two hazards there are the collision detection on the Ivies and the alligator itself, because the alligator can hurt you if it catches up to you. And it's one of, I think there's two, yeah, I think it's just 2 sections in Sonic Heroes where you get chased by something. So there's either that or there's the one in Ocean Palace, and this is not going well. I think this is going to be our first failure, because generally, if you fail to get enough spheres to catch up to the emerald in the first 10 seconds, you're not getting the emerald. That is how this works, because of how broken these special stages are. But we can but try, assuming the controls work for us. Right. These sections right here is your best chance. The dash pad didn't work. See, this is the pulley section. That's what will be there instead. It'll just be trails of bombs. They're a bit spread out there, but later on there'll be quite a lot of them. Yeah, I have failed special stages before because the dash pads didn't work. Sometimes they even slow you down. They're supposed to send me forwards, but they'll actually slow me down, and I have failed special stages because of that happening.
Look, it's that hedgehog.
Wonder what the big rush is all about. Bet you those guys will end up getting in my way and making trouble.
Hey, isn't that...
Sonic! Talk about being stubborn and full of surprises.
Long time no see, boys. Too bad you had to come all this way for nothing. We'll take it from here.
What'd you say?
Sensors locked on Eggman. Non-compliant intruders will be destroyed.
Didn't you know? We have a date with Eggman, too.
Is that so? Well then, it'll be a date to die for.
Hey, that's my line.
Oh my god. Shadow's still alive. How can this be? Rouge is in a different outfit and Gamma's on steroids. But how is Shadow here?
What was with that hedgehog that looked like my twin?
What? Oh god, he has amnesia. He has amnesia. Oh no. Ow! Boy, Gamma! You've really gone insane. They're all still here. Yeah, this is where the it's a lot more annoying. Who's still alive? Ah! Oh, ooh, just made that. That wasn't supposed to happen when I went off the side there. I just barely made that. But again, Shadow. He's still alive, but he fell to the earth. He became a crater. How's he here? He died in Adventure 2, didn't he? Did unexpected fan popularity bring him back to life?